Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So in yesterday afternoon's video, I talked a little bit about Jarrett Brune. He's the head of data and artificial intelligence over there at Bank of America, a Ripple partner. And he was talking about, the use of machine learning and artificial intelligence when it comes to unleashing liquidity and, being able to do it in an efficient way. We found some ties to Ripple and XRP. Obviously, there's the Bank of America connection. If you guys didn't catch the video I did, I go into it in more detail. I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner. One of the biggest points, though, that I think struck a chord was his use of the term the fourth industrial revolution. And, in that video, I talked a little bit about how the World Economic Forum, and I think it was Klaus Schwab who coined that term. Do correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys have heard it somewhere else first. But, they talk about this idea of the fourth industrial revolution. Here is a tweet from ISO 20022, Let's Do It. World Economic Forum Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution is working with central banks to implement DLT technology to usher in a new age for the global banking system. Guys, I'm going to play you this clip. Listen to this.
All stakeholders of society working together. We cannot achieve this alone. The World Economic Forum Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution helps society shape technology for human-centered outcomes. A community across the world, the C4IR network represents 40% of the global GDP and 1/3 of the global population. That's more than 250 stakeholders from business, government, innovators, and civil society sharing know-how and building from each other. Countries experience different risks and opportunities when adopting new technologies. We bring these countries together to establish global best practices and deliver impact on the ground. Collaborating across borders and sectors, the C4IR network has launched more than 30 large-scale initiatives. In Japan, we have developed healthcare data policies for smart home technologies to improve the quality of life for seniors. Our work applying artificial intelligence to agriculture is helping smallholder farmers in India, Colombia, Turkey, and South Africa harness technology for more resilient and efficient farming. In Rwanda, drones are delivering life-saving supplies and accessing remote rural areas thanks to our future-forward policy development. The Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution is a crucial platform for the collaboration and learning needed to deliver impact at scale. Cutting-edge technologies that underpin innovation, such as quantum computing, the metaverse, and synthetic biology, can revolutionize all facets of life. We have to embrace the radical transformation that is already around us and ensure everyone can benefit from it. Learn more and join us.
Nah, no thanks. I think I will pass on that. They make it sound so fine and good and dandy, but really, guys, think of what this will do to humanity. They're already saying that 30% of jobs that exist today are not going to exist by the year 2030. So, just think of it in that kind of capacity. Think about how many people are not going to be able to feel useful. And I mean, as a human being, we want to feel accomplished in some way, shape, or form. And this is why, even the people I know that are multimillionaires with money and they don't have to work, they still keep busy doing something. They don't just sit on the couch and watch TV all day. Anyway, fourth industrial revolution, something that they're trying to promote as something positive. I disagree, but maybe that's a discussion for another video. The World Economic Forum's Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution Network has built a global community of central banks, international organizations, and leading blockchain experts to identify and leverage innovations. And guys, they highlight here distributed ledger technology. Obviously, this is going to help usher in a new age of global banking, but DLT technology is also going to, really kind of ramp up other facets and other sectors that need modernizing. So wanted to thank ISO 20022 just for bringing that up. And if you guys didn't catch that video I did yesterday, I do suggest you watch it. Speaking of payments, we have to consider global trade. Michael Branch reporting this, BRICS nations will surpass G7 countries in terms of economic growth. Now, this is projected to occur by the year 2028. And they're saying here by 2028, the collective GDP of the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and by the way, more countries have now joined that consortium, is expected to reach nearly 35%, driven by China's anticipated position as the top source of world growth over the next 5 years, according to the International Monetary Fund. So here are the growth projections. China is projected to contribute 22.6% to global GDP growth throughout 2028, followed closely by India, 12.9%. In contrast, the United States is expected to contribute only 11.3%. by the year 2028. And 2028, in some ways seems so far off. However, guys, that is only 5 years away. The report notes that the global economic outlook is currently at its weakest over the 3 decades due to various macroeconomic developments, with 75% of global growth expected to be concentrated in just 20 countries. The top 4 contributors, 2 of which are BRICS nations, China and India, will account for half of the growth. So this is a shifting global landscape, as they're mentioning down here. Recent additions to the BRICS new development banks, such as Bangladesh, Egypt, and the UAE, demonstrate the growth trajectory of the bloc. So down here they talk about some other countries that are joining. Furthermore, Mexico, along part of the North America Free Trade Bloc, NAFTA, now superseded by the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, is poised to join BRICS as well. So what would that mean for NAFTA and, the North American agreement that Mexico, Canada, and the United States have had for many, many years? This move could be seen as a direct affront to Mexico's relationship with the United States and a signal that global economies, even those in America's borders, are questioning the U.S.'s abilities to trade on fair and equal terms. So guys, this all goes back to, the idea of de-dollarization, creating a new central bank digital currency, perhaps in some way, shape, or form. Another one here from Michael, posting this article, Dollar Dominance Fading Amid Growing China Trade, Russia Sanctions Risks. And this is what Ray Dalio is noting. Few nations are willing to hold the US dollar as America's share in the global economy becomes smaller while China's role in international trade expands, billionaire Ray Dalio noted. The founder of the world's largest hedge fund also said that Western sanctions on Russia have highlighted new risks in keeping dollar assets. So, the other day we talked a little bit about how a lot more countries now are putting out a warning to, the businesses that reside in those countries to, be careful with US dollars right now, because we're starting to move away from that and we're moving to something new. And so they're stating here, dollar is debt. Central banks are less inclined to hold it. The importance of the US fiat in international trade is decreasing, and as a result, the dominance of the dollar is fading. Central banks around the world are less inclined to hold the greenback. And so Dalio did elaborate on this point. He said previously nations have been willing to expose themselves to such debt so that they can trade globally, as the dollar has been widely used in international transactions. However, with China promoting the use of its currency, the yuan, in trade deals with countries like Brazil, Kazakhstan, and others, the need for the dollar may decrease in the future. Now, in that same video, the one that I posted in the right-hand corner earlier on in this video, there was another gentleman from China explaining why the Chinese yuan would never actually be a reserve currency and why Xi Jinping wouldn't want that. It was a very insightful video, especially if you don't know a lot about Chinese politics. So this just kind of strengthens the argument that we're likely going to see a new reserve currency, unless they start using the ruble or something like that. But chances are they're going to create something. We've already hearing murmurings of, Russia and China creating something that they can trade in, something that could be backed by gold. At the same time, Western financial institutions on Moscow have been pushing the Russian economy towards the yuan, while Russia also saw $330 billion in currency reserves frozen, further preventing it from transacting in dollars or euros. And so Ray Dalio says this: for those reasons, there's less desire to hold US denominated dollar debt, which means, yes, less US dollars. So the supply-demand picture is worsening, particularly as we continue to have to sell them internationally to fund the deficit. So it's a huge problem that is very, very interconnected. US debt, of course, that has global implications, but you cannot service your debt if nobody wants to hold US dollars, and this is what has been giving the US greenback the leg up all these years. It certainly doesn't help to that US, regulations when it comes to cryptocurrency is lagging behind, because, this new financial system is going to need cryptocurrency. Of course, in Europe, we recently did get this news. Lawmakers in the European Union on Thursday voted 517 to 38 in favor of a new crypto licensing regime. This is the MiCA bill, guys, making it the first major jurisdiction in the world to introduce a comprehensive crypto law. This coming from Anders on Twitter. So the European Union now has comprehensive crypto laws. Lawmakers largely supported the plans to make crypto wallet providers and exchanges seek a license to operate across the bloc and require issuers of stablecoins tied to value and other assets to maintain sufficient reserves. So all kind of, good news along the regulatory front. In a tweet, the European Commission's Mariad McGuinness described the vote as a world's first for crypto rules. We're protecting consumers and safeguarding financial stability and market integrity. McGuinness said the rules will start applying from next year. So starting in 2024, guys, we are going to see, a new set of rules roll out in the European Union. I don't know if this covers all of Europe or just the European Union. The European crypto asset industry has regulatory clarity that does not exist in countries like the US. So they're even stating that, the US is falling behind. I mean, everybody is eyeing this, and everybody realizes there is an elephant in the room. And so guess who met with MICA, guys, in 2022? ISO 20022. Let's Do It did post this, an article here, or rather a snippet from a document from ESMA. Ripple did meet on the MICA issue back in 2022. Here's the main topics discussed: markets in crypto assets, or the MICA rule. So, some people were wondering why Stuart Alvaradi was in London. He didn't really give any details on that. Nevertheless, some are assuming that maybe we are going to see a move, more of a presence of Ripple in London. And, somebody also brought up the fact that many of the new jobs that are, being advertised by Ripple are not even happening in the United States. I think they said, Toronto has a lot of job offerings in Canada, and there's also the London office. So Ripple really expanding, moving outside of the United States already into the UK and India. India is also one of these regions of the world where there is a lot of XRP adoption. There was a lot early on, and we've heard about updates here and there. Of course, India and the UK do have a strong connection too sociopolitically. Well, I happen to see this update, guys, from Mike Manfield here on Twitter. UK and India seek to further strengthen their fintech collaboration. So get this, a new report from the India-UK Financial Partnership and Leading Forum for Financial Services Cooperation between India and UK sets out to show how the two countries can accelerate and enhance collaboration on financial technology, or fintech, and innovation to boost the respective sector growth. Now, part of the interesting thing about this are the partnerships involved. Let me continue here. Okay, they want to harness the power of fintech and data, include a series of recommendations for the Indian and UK governments and regulators. They make clear the opportunities for the UK in collaborating with India as a priority partner to implement the recommendations. And then down here, launching an international fintech credentials portfolio and an international fintech portal for inbound investments from India through pilot programs, making India the priority partner for the UK. So it looks as though the UK really wants to prioritize, I guess, India to be their main partner here. But the financial technologies collaboration, okay? Let me just go back to Mike's tweet here. Who is involved in this? Standard Chartered and the UK chair of the IUKFP said that UK and India are both world-leading fintech centers and make natural partners for financial innovation. Of course, we know Standard Chartered is a Ripple partner. He also mentions a bunch of other Indian banks and financial institutions that do in fact have Ripple connections, like Uday, Kotak Mahindra Bank Limited, and India chair of the IUKFP said India and the United Kingdom have long-standing economic relationships, as I mentioned above. Kotak is a Ripple partner. So guys, a lot of RippleNet connections. Of course, Ripple looking to hire more in the UK as well, in London specifically. Not to mention that even back in 2018, Ashish Birla was on the record saying that Ripple already had 50% of India way back then. So could you imagine how much of the market share Ripple has today? And so, now fast forward to 2023, we are seeing UK and India looking to strengthen that relationship. So I wanted to thank Mike for posting that. Also happen to see this, some new statistics coming out here. 70 payout markets today, including new regions like Singapore, Malaysia, Poland, Indonesia, Thailand, Brazil, Sweden, France, and more. This is up from only 3 in the year 2020. So this brought to us by the Wrath of Kahneman, how companies can enhance treasury payments. Okay, this is a direct report from Ripple.com. Okay, streamline global treasury flows with RippleNet. Now you got to remember, back in 2020, which was only 3 years ago, they only had 3 companies to compare. Fund capital flows in complex corridors. So in 2021, World Bank imports data. We're seeing a greater than $700 billion USD in India, greater than $500 billion USD in Mexico, and greater than $290 billion USD in Brazil. Tapping into new markets. So the volume processed $30 billion. There are nearly 70 payout markets available today via RippleNet's payment solutions. Again, up from 3 when the beer flu started back in the year 2020. And we have 20 million transactions to date. More than $1 billion of transaction volume has been processed in quarter 2022 in the APAC region alone. So, really kind of hitting it out of the park, really kind of demonstrating the volume that we're now seeing over RippleNet. More demand for XRP, guys, is going to mean a higher value down the road, which gets me wondering about this. This video was done by PeerPay. They were doing this for a hackathon, and the ISO GOAT here on Twitter posted this, looking at why XRP is worth $2 million. Am I seeing that correctly? Now, the video is here, guys, and, here he highlights this portion of the video, and I have the video up here. I watched it, and well, let's talk a little bit about it. The amount received by the recipient appears in decimal scale and is the conversion to the asset type of the destination account. Example, if you sent 10 XRP but the destination account accepts USD, at an example conversion of 1 XRP to $1.28 USD, the recipient would receive $12.80 USD. So that's how they convert it. And here it's looking at 2 XRP equals, does that look like 2 million to you? Well, down here, some people are saying it is a Zimbabwe currency, a test account. The currency is not in USD. At no point in this video did I see that he chose. So this was the only time where he was choosing. He was choosing a currency, and it was looking here as XRP. Unless I missed something here. But I mean, I don't want to play the full video. It is a 5-minute long video, but even just scrolling through here, he was just showing the process of how this works. But at no place did I see him enter Zimbabwean currencies. And again, this was just a test. However, PeerPay looking as though they are listing an XRP for 2 million somethings. In this same example, they do use USD in this sidebar here to clarify. And even at this point here, they mention 1 XRP is worth 1.28 United States dollars. So yeah, I've got questions about that price. That's just my opinion, though. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.